each year we make incredible new advancements in technology. Some exciting, while others are frightening. It's crazy to think of what we can achieve with today's tech, and even crazier to think what we might achieve with tomorrow's. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at some specific examples of these incredible feats of technology, as well as society's journey towards artificial intelligence and what it could mean for our future. Will we create machines that alter the way we live our day-to-day lives? Could an apocalypse by an army of intelligent man-made robots be just on the horizon? It's time to find out in this brain-tickling and thought-provoking episode of Tipplers 2 Cents. Come with me if you want to learn. Access granted, and welcome back to another episode of Tipplers 2 Cents. Thank you for joining us for episode 8. My name is Chris Walters, and joining me as always is my illustrious co-host and co-creator, Sean Knox.
Fuck yes, we get to talk about VR porn today, dude.
Hell yeah! Before we explore today's topics, Sean, are there any updates for our listeners?
Yeah, I got a couple. I just want to do a quick shout out to Kyle Duncan. He sent us a message pretty recently on Sunday, I believe, and it was, you guys have incredible history research. I admire all the open-mindedness of this podcast. Keep up the great work. And we thanked him via message, but we also want to thank you on the podcast, Kyle, because you've been an avid fucking listener.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. You're doing awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you bought a shirt. If you could send us a picture of you wearing the shirt, we'll be happy to post it on our social media to fucking flaunt our badass fan. You're fucking awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, just you're awesome. Thank you so much. And we got another one from Brett Meeks. He told us do an episode about CIA experiments like MK Ultra and shit like that. Would love to hear y'all's take. And guess what, motherfucker? It's happening. I don't remember the exact episode right now, but we are doing it this season. And yeah, I'm fucking all in on MK Ultra. I don't know about Chris, but
yeah, actually, I think we responded to you last episode about that. And I think it might be like episode 16 or something that we have it planned for. Might move up or something, but yeah, we're doing that though.
Yeah, definitely. Then we got one more from Brittany Bravo, and this is my baby mama again. But I told her to send this in because she was having a conversation with me separately. And, I told her, like, send us the fucking details because I didn't know this. And this just makes what we said in this episode even fucking worse. She's referring to episode 5, our paranormal episode. And it's in reference to the Hat Man that me and Chris experienced, and we didn't know that we fucking had the same fucking experience. The message is, I lived with Sean for 2 years and remember constant nightmares at that time. I went as far to be checked out by a neurologist, and that's true, she was going to a neurologist at the time. I'm gonna just do that the whole time and be like, yeah, she's telling the truth. But no, and changed basic medications that I thought could be the cause. But eventually I learned how to have complete control of my dreams, which was the only thing that stopped some of the terror. I could write a series of Stephen King-style novels based on my very vivid and realistic dreams there. Listening to your paranormal episode shook me to my core as it reminded me of a dream I had in the very same room. A dark, shadowy figure stood near the end of the bed. I knew he was extremely tall because I would wake up and my eyes would be instantly drawn to the spot where I saw his face, nearly looking at the ceiling. I remember confidently that figure in my dream resembled the figure Chris described. I remember I dreamt one other time of the same figure sitting on the dresser, always just watching me as I sleep. Never said a word or made a move, but somehow it terrified me. And fucking great. So I'm never going back to the house.
Yeah, thanks for the fucking nightmare fuel there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much, like, I wouldn't wish you to see it, but, like, because I saw every fucking detail. Like, I saw color and stuff like that, and you guys just saw, like, shadows.
Yeah, I just basically saw, like, what you would think of like a shadow of a person, I guess, basically. With a little bit of detail, but kind of like if you're looking at somebody in the dark.
Yeah, and if we talk about that episode in particular, we do say that it is a very common sighting, the Hat Man is.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that we all three saw it in the same room.
Yeah, in the exact same room. So that's, I don't know, that is weird.
Yeah. Outside of that, just want to say that, you know, we have our shirts, and we just posted a new shirt. I did say that we were going to post it last episode, the Michael D. Sword shirt. It is officially out now. It's so fucking funny. I had to cut a little bit of it, unfortunately, because due to the printers that we use, it couldn't capture all the fine details that we put in there. But now it's a little bit edited. It's a little less than what I would like it to be, but it is still funny. It's still... I'm still very proud of it, and yeah, it's officially on the store. Just go to represent.com/store/Tipplers 2 cents and find the shirt that says Michael D. Swords, and fucking take a look at it, because it is fucking hilarious. And
any of the other shirts on there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of other shirts. I'm working on a couple more, and yeah, just keep an eye out for that. And that is all the updates I have today.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and share with everybody what we're drinking today. I am drinking, what is this? Founders Centennial IPA. I actually grabbed this one by accident. I meant to grab Founders, what is it called? Like All Day something IPA, but whatever. Guess I'm trying a new one. Centennial IPA.
I'm drinking a really tall Corona Extra. It's a 24-ounce bottle. Goddamn, didn't know that was that much. And then I was going to grab my whiskey, but I'm sure you guys are tired of fucking hearing about it. So yeah, I'm just going to be drinking this beer. This is fucking plenty for me. I feel like I haven't drank in a little bit. I know it's only been a week, but I feel like I'm going to get a little bit extra tipsy today.
Yeah, I also got a Lagunitas IPA on backup too, in case I finish this one. So
yeah,
I should be getting white girl wasted. But all right, let's go ahead and toast per our tradition. I'd like to dedicate today's toast to all those healthcare professionals still out there on the front lines during the COVID pandemic. You guys are truly heroes, and we appreciate everything you're doing. So thank you so much. God bless you guys. Please stay safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go ahead and crack this open. And cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, it tastes like an IPA.
Yeah. Let me see. We're going to do trade-offs today.
It's actually a little bit lighter than a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, that tastes like fucking piss. I hate IPAs so much.
I love IPAs. All right. Now then, let's waste no more time and skedaddle along into today's topics of technology advancement, artificial intelligence, and apocalypse by robots. So, first up on today's topic line is the technology leap from the 1990s to the early 2000s. If any of y'all were like me and were growing up during this time, you might recall this huge jump in technology that skyrocketed us forward in like leaps and bounds. It was pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. If you don't remember this, well, good old Christopher the Lower Master is here to ease your burden of forgetfulness and stupidity. The first technological advancement we're going to discuss is probably one of the biggest advancements in technology's recent history, and that is the World Wide Web. In case you didn't know, the World Wide Web was the first internet browser in history, meaning it was literally the only one of its kind. And this obviously changed how we use the internet forever. The World Wide Web was basically what made it possible for all of us to access the internet and find websites from all over the world. Granted, during this time period, the internet was still in its like infant stages and was much more outdated than like what we're used to now.
So wait, was there like a local version of the internet or something?
I don't even know, to be honest, how the fucking internet worked back in the 90s.
I still don't know how it works, but I mean, like, I know it's like, servers dedicated to specific websites. That's all I really know. But like, I know World Wide Web is obviously www, so it's the prefix.
Yeah. And there's like a little bit of confusion with that too. They actually ended up changing the name of World Wide Web into something different. I wish I would have wrote it down, but I didn't. But they changed it to like Nexus or something. Yeah. Because people were getting confused with doing the www dot and World Wide Web. So, but World Wide Web did kick off all of that shit, like the www dot and all that stuff. Okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's how originally you would search something up. I mean, we still do it now, but we just don't have to type it all in like that.
Yeah.
But that's why you would type www dot whatever website you want to go to, because it was basically adding the www was like basically putting something into Google and searching for it. It would lead you to it. So, yeah, like I said, it's hard to explain because this was, a really long time ago, and I wasn't even alive when this came out. So, it's kind of hard to describe exactly how it worked. But definitely a lot different than what we're used to now. Everything's a lot easier, and pretty much anybody is, capable of using it. So yeah, like I said, I never really got to use it back in the early stages like that, so I can't speak from experience. And I only got to really see some images when I was looking this stuff up, and it's like really fucking insane, like how different it looks. Like
nostalgic, or
yeah, kind of nostalgia. Like if you're familiar with using a computer, at least back in the early like 2000s era, because I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah.
So like how everything was in those like little gray pop-up boxes and everything. The internet basically looked like that. And like all the images are kind of like pixelated and stuff, and the copyright symbols all huge. So yeah, it was really stuff like that. Pretty crazy. And it only makes me think of like what people are like 50 years from now are going to think of our internet and how it looks, and how barbaric they're probably going to think it looks, because that's going to happen. 50 years from now, people are going to look back at stuff from today, what we think is so advanced,
think it's just fucking,
and think it's garbage,
primeval.
Like they're going to look at a PlayStation 4, which I mean, now we're moving on to PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. But they're going to look at a PlayStation 4 and be like, what the fuck is this? Like my toaster can do the same thing. I mean, you can play Skyrim on a fucking fridge nowadays, okay? So that's really not that far off. But, who knows? My brain doesn't even know where to begin to like think about stuff like that. Because like whenever I think of hyper advanced web browsing, I always imagine like the computer thing that Tom Cruise was using in Minority Report to find that killer in like that beginning scene, where he has those like fingerless gloves and he's using his fingers to point at shit and zoom in and out. But if it were me, I'd probably be using it to search for porn, because can you imagine using that shit to search for porn? You can just click on the face of the fucking person you're about to jerk your wiener to.
I'm not gonna lie, I would love to have just like immersion for like Adriana Chechik or Bonnie Rotten. Holy fuck, bro.
Yeah, I hope I get to see something like that in my lifetime. But anyway, moving on. We got the next big advancement, and I do at least have some early memories of this one. That was SMS text messages. So SMS stands for Short Message Service, and it was a way to send people short messages via a cell phone or the internet. Prior to this, there was no way to send any kind of text message other than like an email, which wasn't really widely available to everybody yet either. And I should say, when SMS first came out, by the way, it didn't just go out to everybody. It was kind of just made available immediately to like higher up people. So I don't even think SMS was made widely available until like maybe the late 90s or early 2000s. But anyway, like I said, prior to this, there was no real way of sending any kind of text message other than email. And like, it's hard to wrap your brain around that. Like, can you even believe that? People weren't texting each other in the 90s. They had to call each other and hear each other's voices like fucking savages. Fuck that, dude. I hate talking on the phone.
I can't talk on the phone.
But no, I mean, for real though, it's a good and bad thing that we've become like more reliant on text messaging instead of calling, because we do get and send information faster, but we've also just become much more disconnected because of that. So like, it is a good thing, but it is making us more distant from each other.
Yeah, more introverted, more social anxiety.
Yeah, and I do think that's contributing heavily, but that's a different point. We might talk about that more later on.
Yeah.
So SMS text messaging had been around as a concept for years, but didn't really come to fruition until 1992. And as I said, changed the way we communicate forever. Even more recently, though, we know that even this form of communication has become somewhat outdated by things like instant messaging. For example, like Facebook Messenger or Snapchat. And I'm sure there's others, but that's only the ones that I've ever really used. Like, I know myself, I pretty much use Facebook messaging for all of my like texting. But for its time, SMS texting was huge. Because, like I said, the next form of communication like that was email. So back then, everything wasn't instant. It took a while, like up to a couple of minutes, possibly hours. So, this kind of shortened that down. You didn't want to fucking wait to hear from somebody forever if you had an urgent message. I mean, you had social anxiety and didn't want a phone call.
Yeah.
But, that can still be said for today, too, because it still can take some time to, like, send messages and stuff, but that's more reliant on your quality of service as opposed to back then. That was just what the standard was.
Yeah.
In 2010, SMS text saw itself as the most widely used data application with an estimated 3.5 billion active users, or about 80% of all mobile phone subscribers.
God damn.
80%. That's huge, dude. That's like fucking crazy. So next up on our topic of the stuff that came out in the 90s is the Nokia 1011 cell phone.
Oh, the tank of phones.
Yeah, they're fucking huge. Now, mobile cell phones had been on the market since the 1980s, but Nokia's 1011 was a much smaller and less clunkier version than its predecessors, which is hilarious because this thing was still a fucking brick.
Yeah.
Like, huge. And much more so than actually you might think of when you think of a Nokia phone. Because, I mean, Nokia phones already have a reputation of being gigantic and, indestructible. But this thing was even bigger than that. But still, the Nokia 1011 was much smaller and easier to carry around than the other ones. And it's also worth noting that this was Nokia's first cell phone. So it's pretty cool that their first attempt at a cell phone was like a game changer. They started this trend of smaller, sleeker phones, and this was their very first model. So good job, Nokia. The Nokia 1011 came out on November 10th in 1992, hence the 1011, with the 11 representing November and the 10, representing the day. Mm-hmm. And it featured a LCD screen and an extendable antenna, which was like one of the first, things as well. Like, not a lot of phones had like all that kind of, that was high tech for it.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I 100% remember that.
Yeah. I saw a claim saying that this phone was capable of sending and receiving SMS text, but like I was saying, SMS text didn't, become widely available until, like I said, the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, and this phone came out in 1992. And then also the fact that Nokia, even themselves, said that it couldn't receive text messaging. So, if you ever hear anybody say that, they're wrong. You just correct them because they're fucking wrong. Another huge, and I mean like huge, technology advancement was the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched on April 24th, 1990, and is used to observe our known universe. Some interesting facts about the Hubble telescope. The telescope is just about the size of a large school bus, which is pretty neat. It weighs around roughly 24,500 pounds, which is just under the weight of 2 adult male African bush elephants, or just under 14 average weight giraffes. That's right, motherfuckers, you thought it couldn't happen again, but then bam! Bitch smacking you with some giraffe knowledge. You should also note that the Hubble telescope is only about 2 giraffes long, which ain't shit. Okay. Where was I? The Hubble telescope has observed locations more than 13.4 billion light years away, meaning that it has seen light that has existed 13.4 billion years ago. And that's pretty awesome, actually. Like, I don't know. I can't even wrap my head around that either. That's awesome. That it can observe light 13.4, light years away. That's cool as shit. Now, of course, this telescope that was launched in the 90s would be pretty outdated if they just left it, floating out there with old tech running in it. But the fact of the matter is that they actually go out into space and update this bad boy every once in a while. I think the last time that they did it was still like about 10 or so years ago. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they probably could have updated it again now with even crazier shit, but it's just cool that they do keep updating it too. But I also just mentioned that just because I don't want people to think that there's just a telescope from the 90s out there observing space.
Well, to be fair, there also is a shit ton of satellites that are older as balls that are still floating around that we're not using anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, we did an episode on the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did an episode on aliens, but we didn't necessarily
Space.
Yeah, space, dude. I fucking love space.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't.
Yeah, why haven't we thought of that? That's an amazing fucking idea. Okay, we might have to adjust this season, but dude.
Yeah, I don't. Now that you bring it up, it doesn't make sense that we haven't talked about that because I want.
Yeah, because I would love to talk about it's so fucking cool. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, where was I? So yeah. Anyway, the point remains that the Hubble telescope was like a pretty big game changer for us because like I said, it changes the way that we're able to view space and just learn things about it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that probably think that learning about space and stuff isn't important, but it is. Because, I mean, like I think we talked about it in the first episode where, we're kind of talking about humanity leaving Earth at some point.
Ultimately, I think that's where we're going to have,
and I think we both are of that same mentality that we think that the human race is going to have to leave Earth at some point.
For multiple reasons. I mean, not just out of curiosity, but
for survival's sake.
Yeah, for survival's sake, because by 2050, I think, is when we're going to start having rationing, and that's pretty fucking soon.
Yeah, and that's 30 years away. We're still going to be alive. So, but I mean, for that to happen, we have to observe space. We have to observe where we're going to go and how we're going to get there. And we can't do that if we don't know shit about the environment. And space is a pretty crazy environment. It's got a lot of unique traits to it that Earth doesn't follow the same kind of what's the word? It doesn't follow the same kind of laws that space does. Like there's no oxygen out in space. The gravity is different. The weather
not
is
just
different.
That, on different celestial bodies, we have to experience those separately. Like if you were living on the moon, you'd have to do a completely different routine. Or at least, slightly different than if you're just on in orbit around Earth, because there is gravity there, but not a lot. And if you're on Mars, that's I think the gravity's heavier on Mars, so different methods there to how to survive and just evolution leading into how we would adapt there if we were to colonize and stuff like that. It's just awesome.
So just saying, so that way you guys understand why I think the Hubble telescope is so important.
Yeah, and we still reference images from it to this day.
And it's big on getting us our pictures and stuff like that too. So, but anyway, Sean, why don't you go ahead and tell these fine folks about some other big advancements in technology from the 90s?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to talk about some shit that I still fucking use or want to use to this day because just rounding off some of the big ones real quick are Adobe Photoshop. I use that every single day, for the show and other projects I work on. Nintendo 64. Whoop, whoop.
One of the best consoles.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing, dude. I have so many memories playing Mario 64. Yeah. The Star Wars one where you're
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron. Fuck, dude, I love that game. Turok 64. Fucking dude.
Super Mario 64, of course.
I said that one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you motherfucker.
I must have just zoned that one out.
Yeah. There's just fucking gems on that. And of course, a lot of people are probably going to get mad at me for not saying Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I was like, of course Zelda, but I didn't play Zelda back then.
Yeah, so. I didn't grow up playing Zelda. I do want to because I played Breath of the Wild. And after saying Calamity Ganon and stuff, that's at the beginning of the game.
I played Breath of the Wild, and then I've played quite a bit of Twilight Princess. So.
Yeah. So, overall, I can get the gist that it's a really cool storyline and stuff. So I probably will eventually just get an emulator or something and play it. Yeah. PlayStation 1, again, fucking Spyro, Medieval.
I think it's a tie between PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 for the best console for me.
It's weird because I didn't play a lot of PlayStation 1. But one of my favorite games of all time is Medieval. Yeah,
it has Medieval, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Croc, which was kind of like a ripoff of Spyro and shit. But I can't even remember all the games right now. The Mortal Kombat games. Dude, I don't know. There's so many. My brain's spinning trying to think of all the games I played on there.
Yeah. The DVD was also invented, which, fuck, dude.
I can remember, like, when my dad first bought a DVD player, it was huge, like, fucking gigantic. And then, like, I just remember him trying to explain to me what a DVD was, because I was like, is this not a CD? Because I knew what CDs were. But then he was trying to explain to me, like, no, it plays movies. And
because there was overlap in, like, having a video cassette with CD.
Yeah. Because, most of the time, people were watching stuff on VHS still. So, yeah, I don't know. It was weird, but it was cool to be alive at that time when, like, DVDs were first coming out.
Yeah. I just remember, like, the really shitty, like, if you were getting, kind of like, it's still today, like, I remember, like, when you had DVD, there was, like, ads on the DVDs for Blu-ray. It's the same shit. Like if you had like one of the late cassette tapes or VHS tapes, it would have ads for DVDs. Yeah, they were just fucking terrible. Jesus Christ, I don't know how those ads worked. I mean, ads now are just so simple, and they're just like, "Do you like this?" And you're like, "Yeah, I do." And they're like, "Fucking buy it."
And they're like, "Well, buy it." You're like, "All right, I'll consider."
But the last one is a big one, especially leading into today's topic, is fucking Google. You know the thing that you use for literally every fucking question that you want to know the answer to? The reason we were able to research our subjects for this podcast, we used Google to look up the information about Google and the invention of Google. But seriously, guys, that is probably going to rape your fucking ears. I'm sorry. But the 90s was hugely transformative period of time for us humans. Without a doubt, one of the biggest decades for us in terms of technology, and it's important that you know that, and now you do. You're fucking welcome. Just kidding. Anyway, let's mosey on into talking about how technology has evolved to now, because holy shit, technology is advanced now compared to the 90s, dude.
Yeah.
We have come a long way, but the point of that whole spiel was to make it apparent that the 90s led the way for all of this advanced tech that we use now. In today's world, we have probably one of the best pieces of technology ever, and that's the smartphone. I mean, I use obviously I use my phone every fucking day. Chris is using his phone right now to, look at our notes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, how fucking magical is this little thing? I can go to the bathroom at any time and watch porn. Anytime. Anytime, 24/7. I watch porn at work. We have the whole world in the palm of our hands fucking every single day. Well, most of us anyway. I mean, if you're still using one of them clamshell flip phones, then upgrade your fucking shit, you goddamn dinosaur. You're such a piece of shit fossil if you're fucking using a flip phone. I'm sorry. God damn it. We should fucking pressurize you and use you as fuel. All right? The future is now, old man. But seriously, with a smartphone, we have immediate access to the internet whenever the fuck we want, as well as access to instantly watch movies, play games, message each other, call each other, record each other with audio, video, and recording. And you could use it to GPS track your way back to a new restaurant, new place that you want to discover. Honestly, to this day, just because I moved to since I moved to the city, I use GPS pretty much to go anywhere outside of my commute for work, because I don't know where fucking anything is still. Like, I get an idea of the grid system and stuff like that, but whenever someone's like, oh, it's on, this street and this street, then I'm still like,
You're like, I'm just going to type it into Google.
Yeah, and I don't know. But it's just super fucking helpful, and, it's one of them gems.
Yeah, I mean, with the smartphone, you'll be able to visit the Louvre on one channel, watch female wrestling on another. You can do your shopping at home, or play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. There's no end to the possibilities. Sorry, guys. That last bit was just quotes from The Cable Guy. It's like one of my favorite comedy movies. Which, also came out in the 90s, and all of that I said is still true. So, Anyway, sorry, continue, Sean.
Yeah, as I was saying, we basically have this fucking miracle machine on us at all times, and it has, without a doubt, completely changed the way we live. And, it's also worth mentioning that we don't just have smartphones, but we have fucking smart watches now. Like, I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, dude. Shit is getting so advanced. And, like, our phones are so advanced, they no longer have buttons. They have touch screens. Touch screens.
Yeah.
Think about it. Do you guys even fucking understand how cool that is? Look up a phone from the 90s right now. I don't care. Stop the show. Google it, and tell me that that isn't some fucking ancient pilgrim shit. All right?
Yeah.
It will have buttons, motherfucking beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. And we have touchscreens. Shit that literally people used in the 90s and earlier as examples of future for, like, advanced technology. So, like, you know, if you watch any, like, sci-fi movie now, you can, or back then, you'll see examples of our
like
phones.
when they're breaking into like a government lab or they're like hiding some fucking secret technology. What do they have to hack into to get into that lab? They have like some fucking thumbprint scanner thing. I use that to unlock my phone.
Yeah. I mean, my God, we're so fucking privileged, but okay. Anyway, yeah, technology has really altered the way we live our day-to-day lives in a lot of ways, a lot of other ways too. Not just with phones we have, we also have things like Bluetooth speakers, headphones, smart TVs. I have all that in my house. Google Home, which you can turn your house into a voice-activated smart home when paired with other devices. You know, not just Google Home. There's also Alexa. I think there's a couple other competitors out there, but those are the first two that come to mind.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, it's fucking insane. We are living in the future, and it's only becoming more advanced. Seriously, if you don't appreciate it, fuck you. Like 100%.
Yeah, don't take this stuff for granted because, like, I was lucky enough to grow up in the 90s, and, like, I can remember not having any of this stuff. So if you're young and listening to this, just understand that this shit is incredible. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah. And when I say advanced, by the way, I only mean the technology, because I can't really say the same for humans in general. Some of y'all are going backwards cognitively. While that, I say fucking with the shittiest. I can barely say that word. And actually, we're going to talk about that next episode. So yeah, stay tuned. But just the sheer amount of crazy technology we possess is mind-blowing. Like, our phones can talk to us now. I can tell Siri to tell me a joke, and she'll make herself into my personal court jester and provide me with a good old tummy tickler at will. In fact, you know, just for sharts and mouth farts, I'm going to pull up my phone right now and have Siri tell us a joke. Hey, Siri, tell us a joke.
Why does Orion's belt only have 3 stars? Well, some of the reviews say it's just a waste of space.
God damn it.
Jesus.
That's fucking amazing.
It's like it's dad joke quality, but it's still fucking funny.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love dad jokes.
Yeah, that's fucking great. But it's fucking mind-boggling that we have this shit. I mean, especially when you actually sit and think about it. When you think about a lot of what we have. I mean, you know, really showing our privilege right now, but I mean, in general, just being in any fucking first world country, it's astounding what we have accomplished.
Yeah.
And people every fucking day just shit on it by not just sitting back and being like, holy fuck, I have this phone
Yeah.
that literally tells me everything I could ever fucking want to know.
Yeah, that's like why I was saying, like, the tech that we have today is absolutely amazing, and we most of us do take that for granted because, you know, like I was saying, some of us got to grow up when we didn't have this technology to pamper us so heavily, but now, like, kids today are just growing up with this stuff from day one.
Yeah.
I mean, my fucking 2-year-old daughter has her own tablet. I don't even have my own tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, tablets are fucking insane too. They're like just basically like this little handheld screen that can do almost everything a phone and a computer can do, and you can just walk around with it and fucking use its touchscreen and shit. And like, have we emphasized enough how amazing today's tech is? Yeah,
and I'm not gonna shit on that because I agree with a little bit of the mix of. I feel like I wouldn't be as what's the word, imaginative if I had grown up with more screens. But then again, I'm pretty fucking imaginative, and you are too, because of like the amount of movies we watched.
Yeah.
So like all these visuals and stuff that were giving us, over time, kind of gave us the frame of mind to come up with our own ideas from scratch, just having seen those visuals. So I don't really shit on kids having screens in their face at all times. Every now and again, you do need to fucking get off a screen, get off social media, and go outside. But right now, like, my daughter knows plenty of new word. Like, she probably tells me a new word every day now.
Yeah.
She fucking knows the alphabet by heart. She knows how to count to 20, and all that stuff is half because I sat down and taught her it, And the other half is because these songs repeat on a loop on her fucking phone because she likes watching the visuals and she'll remember the songs.
Yeah, and I was actually going to bring that up too because, like I said, Kira has her own tablet. And, also like you were saying, she seems to like learn a new word every day. And we're like, who the hell taught her that?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the tablet because like she's just suddenly starting to count and say her ABCs and stuff like that. We, like, of course, like you were saying, we made, attempts to try to teach her this stuff, but it seems like when we do it she doesn't really retain it, but when she's watching it on the tablet they back it up with those catchy songs and wacky visuals to keep them interested, so it's like she just actually pays attention to it. And so like it's not that much of a bad thing. It's kind of good that she's using that to learn and stuff, and like kids today are using that stuff to learn. But also we're just, as we were talking about with like SMS text messaging and all that kind of stuff, it starts to pull us away from that human interaction a little bit too.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd rather have her watching that shit than having the childhood I did. Because, like, I'd rather her be singing ABCs than, whenever I was 3, I just knew all the fucking lyrics to Stupefy by Disturbed. So, like that's all I remember was fucking mom listening to, rock station and shit and just...
Well, and then, like, even older people, too, like, oh, when I was, back then or whatever, I used to play out in the dirt with a stick and a rock, and that's how I got by. Well, that's fucking boring.
Yeah.
And you don't learn anything that way. Okay, maybe it shelters them a little bit to just grow up with a tablet, but my fucking 2-year-old daughter is learning the ABCs. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
As opposed to I know what a rock and a stick is. I'm like, I'd rather her know the ABCs.
Yeah, I think I learned my ABCs when I was 5.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5.
That's what I mean. Like, I was getting worried initially that she was like falling behind, but she's not. She's actually getting along pretty quickly. And Lily too. Mm-hmm. Like, I can speak for Lily on that part too, because she blows my mind with how much she'll like talk to you and stuff, and she's only 3.
Yeah, she's introverted when we like go meet new people and stuff, but what kid isn't?
Yeah, that's just normal for kids in general.
Yeah, but like whenever she's around you and me, like she doesn't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those cool things to think about though.
Yeah, but all right. Enough of us old geezers complaining about you damn kids and your fancy gadgets and your whatchamajiggers. About I messed up my own joke. But all right, anyway. Let's move on to talking about artificial intelligence. Now, we somewhat demonstrated what that is with things like Siri and Alexa. These are technically examples of artificial intelligence. Well, not even technically. They are examples of it. That's the whole premise to something like artificial intelligence. It's just like a constantly learning intelligent system that mimics the cognitive function of a human, hence the name. That's what Siri, Alexa, Cortana, not the one from Halo. The Windows program.
It's fucking trash though.
Yeah, which blows, but anyway. And like the Amazon Echo, that's what they do. They simulate an intelligent being, which is why they give them those, very human-like names. Basically, probably just some nerd's joke, honestly. Like, that's how I take it. Mm-hmm. Some nerd, like, oh, what if I gave it a real name? Okay, very funny. But what is the future of AI? And will we ever get to, like where our imaginations take us when we think of the term artificial intelligence? At least, like, where my imagination takes me. Probably, because we are actually a lot closer than some of you might think. Some really cool examples of artificial intelligence, aside from Siri or Alexa, are actually 2 robots that have AI in them. The first one that I want to talk about real quick is a cute little robot desk pet named Vector. Sean, have you seen Vector at all?
I actually have. Yeah. It's the most adorable fucking thing. Yeah. It's like $160 or something on Amazon.
Yeah, it's super expensive, but it's cool.
But it's cool as balls, dude. It like I think it syncs up with Alexa, and they can tell you like the weather and stuff like that. But also, it'll just wake up on your desk and wreak its own little fucking havoc on your desk. I want it so bad, bro. So bad.
Yeah, I know I want one. I was actually watching videos when I was researching this stuff, and it's like I don't know. It's really hard to explain exactly what he does. Like, when I say desk pet, that really doesn't help you visualize what he does. But honestly, he just does like weird little cute things. Like, he has this little cube toy that he can play with. And he has like, cute little computer generated eyes that like make expressions.
Yeah,
So like, he can simulate if he's angry or sad or
he interacts
happy.
with you, like he gets nervous if you pick him up and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like, there's some videos where like, I think we'll probably end up linking one just so that way you guys can see it if you haven't. But yeah, there's like videos of people picking him up and he gets all frustrated at him, and he has this little like arm thing that he can like wave around when he's angry. Like, I don't know, he's pretty cool. Like I said, we'll definitely try to upload a video for you guys so that way you can see it, because it's better to just look at this stuff than me try to explain it to you, because it really doesn't make a lot of sense for me explaining it. But like, I don't know, like the coolest part for me is just like how responsive he is and like how animated he is, because it's really cool to like see how far we've come with like the kind of animatronics and programming that's behind something like Vector. Because like, yeah, all of his little motions and stuff are just so smooth, like, and that was what was blowing me away when I was watching this, was just how like fluid everything was. And like, yeah, he's just really fun to watch. But anyway, a better example of what our current artificial intelligence can do is a much creepier one. And her name, or its name, whatever, is Sophia. But before we talk about her in more detail, let's first share with you today's Tipplers Tidbit.
Tipplers Tidbit.
Tipplers Tidbit is a short segment where we tell you one quick random fun fact about alcohol, so you can be the cool hipster know-it-all that everyone secretly hates at the party. Today's Tipplers Tidbit is this. Many of the sodas that we enjoy contain trace amounts of alcohol in them. Some of these beverages include Coca-Cola, A&W Root Beer, Canada Dry Ginger Ale, Mountain Dew, and Hawaiian Punch. So next time you're going to make yourself a mixed drink, maybe consider one of these sodas as the mixer and add a little, extra zing to your drink. Not really. It won't do shit, because the amount of alcohol in it is so like minuscule. It's like 0.004%. So, but the more you know.
Tipplers Tidbit.
Okay, so back to Sophia, the AI robot. Sophia is described as a social humanoid robot developed by Hong Kong-based company Hanson Robotics. Sophia was first powered on February 14th, 2016, on Valentine's Day, right? That's Valentine's? Kind of weird. And she made her first public appearance at the South by Southwest Festival, which I think is like XXWS or something.
Yeah.
So some of you might know it by that. Sophia is said to be modeled after ancient Egyptian Queen Nefertiti, Audrey Hepburn, and the inventor David Hanson's wife. She's well known for her human-like appearance and behavior. And I'll give them a little bit of leeway on that, because I guess she kind of looks like a human, but it's still creepy as shit.
Yeah.
The craziest bit of trivia about this robo chick, though, is that she is actually an official citizen of the country of Saudi Arabia, making her the first and only robot to have citizenship of any country. Yeah. So, of course, you might be asking why. Well, like everything nowadays, it was essentially just a marketing stunt for both Saudi Arabia and Hanson Robotics. Hanson Robotics gets the spotlight for their robot getting citizenship, and Saudi Arabia gets to brag about, being the only country with a robot citizen. Excuse me. Like, why Saudi Arabia? Well, because their citizenship rights are fucking bananas, that's why. No, really. It was a lot to do with the female rights of their country. I think they wanted to make some sort of weird statement with it, because they have a lot of weird... Like, I mean, I'm not joking when I say that their citizenship rights are bananas.
That sounds like it would be more of an insult than...
And that's actually funny, because that's the way most people ended up taking it, was, a lot of people ended up standing by like, well, you gave a robot more rights than probably most of your female citizens. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't such a smart choice.
Yeah, I was thinking of it more like women should be more like a robot. That's how I would take it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That's like, a whole other set of info that's, not really relevant to today's episode. So,
but
I'm not going to go any further into that. But most of you might have heard about Sophia because back in March of 2016, during an interview, people heard that she said she wanted to destroy all humans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to clear that up right now. That's not actually the case. She didn't say that she wants to destroy all humans. The reality is that she said, okay, I will destroy all humans. Now, I know that doesn't sound much better, but let me give you the context. So the reason she said this was because it was a joke that was pitched to the CEO of Hanson Robotics, who was asking Sophia questions to demonstrate her capabilities. CNBC apparently had asked him to question Sophia on whether or not she wanted to destroy all humans. So he asked her, like, very jokingly, he's like, Sophia, do you want to destroy all humans? Please say no. And she ended up just going, okay, I will destroy all humans. Clearly, she didn't even comprehend the question correctly because the response doesn't even fit the question. So, calm your chichis. She didn't say she wants to kill all humans. Not like the way that people are thinking she said it anyway. Like I said, she didn't comprehend the question correctly. So obviously it didn't, if you don't comprehend the question correctly, then the answer doesn't really mean shit.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't want to kill all humans, not yet anyway. But to my understanding, her intelligence is more like akin to that of like a toddler in terms of how well she understands things. Like her responses and questions are merely like reflections of algorithms programmed into her to help her calculate an answer based on keywords in your sentence and then the order and structure of those keywords. So, for example, if I asked her, what's your favorite color? The keywords there are your, favorite, and color. So basically all she has to do is search for keywords like that, your favorite color. She knows that I'm the subject. Or, what's your favorite color? So she knows she's the subject. She knows I'm asking her about color, and then, keyword favorite really doesn't have to be that big of a keyword, but she, it's a helpful thing for her. So that way she can at least repeat it, so that way it sounds smart. And I know that this is a very basic sentence, but that's kind of exactly why I'm using it as an example, so it's like easier to illustrate my point. But like a more complex question example would be something like, Sophia, why do you think humans are so violent? The keywords there would be why, to provide her what type of question I'm asking. And then humans, which would provide her subject. And then violent, which would give her the adjective for the subject.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, all I'm saying is she's honestly very simple-minded. Why she might sound intelligent, it's no more different than, typing a question into Google and having Google read the answer to you. I don't know. That's how I understand her, because that's the only way I can understand it anyway. I don't know. Is that on the money, or am I completely wrong?
Well, as of 2018, Sophia's architecture now includes scripting software, a chat system, and OpenCog, which is an AI system designed for general reasoning. So Sophia can imitate human gestures and facial expressions, as it's able to answer certain questions as well as make simple conversations on predefined topics. She uses speech recognition technology implemented from Alphabet Incorporated, which is the parent company of Google, by the way, and is designed to get smarter over time. Her speech synthesis ability is provided by Cereproc's text-to-speech engine, which can also allow her to sing. The AI program that she installed with I can't say the fucking word. Analyzes conversations and extracts data that allows it to improve her responses in the future. Sophia is marketed as a social robot that can mimic social behavior and induce feelings of love in humans. Cameras within Sophia's eyes, combined with computer algorithms, allow her to see, quote unquote. She can track and follow faces, maintain eye contact, and recognize people. So essentially, it can identify specific, traits of a face. She can identify your nose, your ears, your eyes, and your mouth.
Kind of like biometric face scanning, like our phones have, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So she is able to process speech and have conversation during a natural language subsystem. In January 2018, Sophia was upgraded with functioning legs, which gave her the ability to walk, which they shouldn't have fucking done.
Yeah, that's horrible. Why are you guys going to make her walk and shit? Next thing you're going to be like, Sophia's able to carry guns.
CNBC has commented on Sophia's quote-unquote lifelike skin and her ability to emulate over 60 facial expressions, which she actually does pretty well, given that she is a robot.
She does the expressions well, but they're weirdly timed. Like, I don't know if you've watched a lot of interviews, but like...
Yeah, it's like the ping on like a FaceTime call or something like that. If you're like, say a joke and then you're waiting for their response and a second later they're like... Because
she'll like laugh or not laugh, but she'll like tell a joke or something or say something where she's supposed to smile and she'll be dead faced and then just randomly it's just like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's fucking creepy.
Sophia is conceptually similar to the computer program Eliza, which was one of the first attempts at simulating a human conversation. The software has been programmed to give pre-written responses to specific questions or phrases like a chatbot. So these responses are used to create the illusion that the robot is able to understand conversation, including stock answers to questions like, is the door open or shut? Hansen designed Sophia to be a suitable companion for the elderly at nursing homes or to help crowds at large events or parks, and he has said that he hopes that the robot can ultimately interact with other humans sufficiently to gain social skills. So, yes and no. She's not as simple as something like Google search engine, but nowhere near as complex as, say, a movie version of an artificially intelligent robot or anything with, like, sentience or anything like that.
Yeah.
Still a very big leap forward in terms of AI development. And honestly, just with that sort of identification for certain situations, because I'm pretty sure that she can identify a question by, like... your facial expressions as well, and so if you look angry, she'll respond angrily and stuff like that. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure I saw a video where she did that.
Yeah, and I actually have a video that I'm gonna have, our, I don't know what I'll call her, our media specialist. I'll have her post that because I was watching it last night actually. And it's with Tony Robbins. He's like interviewing Sophia, and this was this year in January. Mm-hmm. And there's like a part in the interview where he's asking her if she can tell if he's smiling or not, and she kind of stalls and then ends up saying like, "Oh, you're smiling on the inside" or something. So I'm like, I don't know if she was just trying to make a joke or if she honestly can't, and she resorted to telling a joke because she can't tell if he was smiling or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There are a lot of other chatbots too, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's that website too called Chatbot. That one's actually pretty good sometimes.
Yeah. Have you ever? I think there's different like integrated versions that have their own like separate algorithms and stuff. Like one off the top of my head, just because I was watching them earlier, they actually have a PewDiePie chatbot.
Okay.
Yeah, where they have like a deep faked image of him like that. And it responds in his voice using segments of videos that he said, so it says it back in his voice. And I just thought it was like really cool just to be able to mimic someone else. But it doesn't answer the way that he would because Felix is actually kind of more sarcastic and an asshole.
Yeah,
I like him, but I mean like
so it lacks his personality, but it probably does a good job of imitating a person.
Yeah, imitating like his voice and stuff like that. But, like, if you asked him a dumb question, he would, in reality, it'd probably be like, that's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? But, anyway, there's a ton of different versions of that, and it's still very important for AI development.
Yeah. But still, like, just what we have now is, like, just, and, like, Sophia especially is just, like, a very base form or a shell of a thought compared to, like, what we imagine when we say the words artificial intelligence. Because, for me, in its best form, a robot with like top tier AI would be like a free thinking robot capable of forming its own opinions, emotions, and morals, which is actually pretty scary of a concept, really. Because like I don't know how comfortable I would be knowing that a robot could form its own opinion of me, just like a human could. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, if you think about it in terms of like how a robot would rationalize things, like I feel like it would like make this cold, calculated assessment of your worth. And, like, they might even base your overall worth by, like, your contribution to society or some, like, absurd standard like that.
I might be a robot.
And, like, yeah, I know humans do it too, but we have the well, I don't know if it's moral backing, because some of us don't, but, like, we have that thing that keeps us from killing people based off of
We would have, like, I think the difference for us is we have morality, but it's more our morality is ever changing and it's subjective. So like for me, back in the day, I would think that anyone, like just for an example, anyone who kills anyone is a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right. But I didn't keep in. And by the way, like this isn't actually what I thought. But I know a lot of people that think that soldiers are just monsters because they kill just because they hear an order. When it's not as fucking simple as that.
Yeah, it's not as black and white like that.
Yeah, most people in the army, they go in the army to support their family or support themselves because they want to or they want to serve their country. Whatever fucking reason. And honestly, it's valid because it's their choice. And then once they get to the situation where they have to kill someone, at the end of the day, you're fighting to protect whoever's next to you.
It's a you or me situation. And if you put most smart people, and I mean, honestly, it doesn't even boil down to smarts. It boils down to animal instincts.
Yeah.
If you put somebody in a situation where it's you versus them, they're always going to choose themselves.
Yeah, and those soldiers can get back from their deployment and probably regret what they did, regretted killing people and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they're the ones living. And that's the term of like ever-changing morality, or they probably wouldn't wish that on someone else. They might warn someone against going into the army because they don't want them to suffer that same fate, or that same like mental condition and stuff like PTSD. But for what, like the reasoning behind going into the army might be changed, but the situation that they were put in, they probably wouldn't have acted differently. Whereas a robot, they don't really give a fuck because it's all, ones and zeros to them. So if you just told them, kill that person, it's
cold calculated decision to just...
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, kind of along that same subject line, how would you feel if an AI reached its apex and it could, like, think and emotionally feel just like a human? Would you be for that or would you be against it?
Personally, I think it'd be cool, but ultimately, I think it would be another situation that us humans find ourselves in. Referring back to the Meaning of Life episode, where we don't know why the fuck we're here.
Yeah.
And it really just boils down to what we decide we're here for. And if we create something that has sentience, that has emotion, that has, self-awareness and all that stuff, and we're so arrogant as to give it a purpose, that's not what life is.
Yeah, so you don't think it would benefit from acknowledging what its purpose in life is?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we could interact with it, but if we were to ever be like, no, you're meant to do this, but we know for a fact it has emotion and it has, all that.
Also, I mean, that's... So, like, let's say we just created an AI like Sophie who doesn't... I mean, she has a purpose, but it's kind of like an unclear, basically, like, they use her for marketing, but really it's just kind of like to show what technology can do. So let's say we created an AI and we didn't really give it a defined purpose.
Yeah.
Then how would you feel about it? Like, if it just operated, like, if... Let's jump forward into the future and say that robots are just now part of a society and they're free thinking like humans. How would you feel about that? Like some fucking, Blade Runner type shit.
Define the situation, because if we released one or several?
Several.
Because several could be pretty detrimental to us, especially if they become hostile.
Yeah. I know, which we're going to get into in a minute.
And one, if we just released one, would be kind of cold on our part, because then it's just a fucking experiment. It's like the movie with Jim Carrey, where he's living... Like, his whole life is being filmed or whatever.
Oh, The Truman Show?
Yeah, The Truman Show. It'd kind of just be another fucked up sci-fi version of that, because then we would just be studying, like, for a fact we would be studying what it would do. And, it's also kind of selfish to think, or not selfish, but it'd be stupid for us to think that it operates on the same level as we do. We came through evolution in our own ways, and we formed societies in our own ways, and to this day we still have cultural differences aplenty, and this single robot or a single robot race could form its own culture and all that shit. And I guess if we put it released 4, 5, 6 on an island and see what they did, I guess that would be, really cool as far as our moving forward. But what do we do after that? Do we just leave them there? Do we integrate them into our society? Do we make more and let them be exposed to their predecessors? Try to form that line of like tradition, like whatever that society forms. And would they even, would they move evolve mentally faster or slower than us? It's a bunch of different things, especially if, like, what we decide to put in their head before we release them. We could, fill their head with complex mathematics, understanding of biology and all that stuff, so we can, blank start, no memories, but give them all this information that they just by default know.
Yeah, I think if we did make, widely distributed kind of AIs, I think the smartest plan would be to install some sort of failsafe, like Blade Runner situation. They have a limited lifespan, something that gives you a failsafe.
Yeah.
So they don't fucking kill us all. But 2, just only give them the capabilities of like an average human. Like install them with the average IQ of like the average human,
Yeah.
Don't make them fucking all scientists, because then of course they're going to figure out a way to fucking kill us all. Like, can you imagine if a group of super powerful humans existed and they all just got together and they were all super smart? They'd fucking figure out a way to kill us all.
Yeah, but you'd also have to keep in mind like what an average adult knows, like the level of an average adult knowing like their mathematics, their understanding of anatomy, or not even anatomy, but just biology, like plants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Understanding of the world in general. And, if we did the whole desert island situation, they could have knowledge of civilization, like that they know exists, but they don't know where the fuck it is. So first thing they probably do is probably just try to get off the island.
Yeah.
Because if they were made with like the same kind of curiosity as humans were, that's first thing we would do is be like, is there more?
Yeah. So like, while we're kind of already talking about it in a way, but while we're still on this kind of same subject line, let me pose the question properly. What do you think is the likelihood that we could lead ourselves into like an apocalypse led by artificially intelligent robots, like an army of Sophias that are actually smarter and actually want to destroy all humans? So like, what do you think the likelihood of that could be for us in an actual future?
Knowing us as humans, probably very likely. Stephen Hawking himself said humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded. The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. So, by that definition, like, if you give them sentience, no matter what kind of failsafe you put in, or what kind of what's the word? I guess their goal, directive, what their directive would be, even if they were to, say, preserve all life or preserve the human race, they can do that in whatever way they want. And ultimately, if we do create sentient, immortal robots that, obviously would figure out how to repair themselves, make their own, doctors and shit like that, they would outlive us, and they would probably figure out eventually that we're, not as superior, or, just not superior in general. Because that's probably every human's goal, or, would be goal, is to be immortal.
Yeah.
Like right now, I fucking have insane fear of death. I have panic attacks.
I was like, I would totally kill to be an immortal robot, so.
Yeah. But yeah, so even Stephen Hawking himself said this is probably a fucking bad idea. As far as, do I think it's cool? Yes. I would love to have like an actual like artificial intelligence, like the movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I want to talk about that later. So.
Yeah. But just that kind of like companionship, and like if it's just you and like maybe an assistant or like something like that, where you get to actually form this friendship and like teach them about the world, it wouldn't be far off from having a child. So there's like signs of intimacy in there, but there's also, same thing as having a child is what if they grow up to be cunts? Because there's still a very real world chance that my daughter can grow up and kill someone one day, and there's nothing I can fucking do to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, without shoving too much personal information into the show, one of my cousins killed somebody, so I mean, she's in prison right now. But I mean, as far as the likelihood of AI robots taking over, I think I agree on saying that I think it's quite possible. I don't think it's something that we'll see in our lifetime. I think that we'll probably get to the point where there's like robots and stuff kind of. I don't think as much as like going as far as to say that they're in like every home and stuff. But I mean, if you think about like what we got now, like we were pointing out, we have like smart homes and shit going on now. So, I mean, it can't be that far off from us having a fucking robot butler walking around the place.
Let me also point out that AI is technically not the right terminology, because AI is artificial intelligence, but it's also artificial intelligence limited to what we want it to know.
Yeah.
AGI is artificial general intelligence, which would be something on our level. Like, that would be something with sentience and stuff like that. I just say AI and, Chris too, just because it's simpler. And there's plenty of like, different formats that we've seen or movies and shit that they just use AIs. And,
well, it's like, and when I say AI, the majority of people know what I mean. So
yeah. So right now, no, there's no real world chance anytime soon that I think that we're moving towards like actually creating a sentient separate species, because that is what it would be. It would just be a separate species or a separate race. But someone somewhere is 100% working on AGI, and as much as I would like to see the outcome of that, it is still scary.
Yeah.
But such is the way of science. Like, you have to fucking take those risks.
Yeah.
Because if you can have like an AGI be a pilot, right, that can make those human decisions, that
might be a good thing. It might turn out better if they're crashing, because then he would actually have a real world desire to save the plane or whatever.
Yeah.
If it was crashing.
Yeah, like have an AGI, like, and plus, by the way, their limitations are non-existent. So if you had an AGI, it could have multiple separate conversations with everyone on board that plane and still be able to comprehend all of that, just because it has a higher level of thinking than you do. So it could form real world bondings with those people, therefore making it more less of a liability for being murderous or anything like that. Like, it would actually care about these people.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, there's a baby aboard. Like, literally just me being on a plane, excuse me, if I was on, a pilot, which, by the way, I'm fucking so not. But, if I have a weak spot for kids and, like, babies in general. I fucking love babies so much. Like, and who doesn't? Not gonna lie, but, like, if I was piloting a plane and I just knew for a fact that there was an infant on board, just that mentality of like,
I would die to save that life, and I have no idea who that person is.
Yeah, exactly. That's a life not lived yet, and it's selfish to take that away in lieu of saving your own life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no matter who it is. And I mean, obviously that comes, way more complex thinking when it comes to like, oh, what about my kid and someone else's kid? Like, obviously my kid, but it's just one of those things that if that's its primary directive, keep everyone on board this plane safe, get from A to B, and form bonds with these people, I think it would be effective. But after a while, it would, obviously get curious about the outside world. What would it be like to not be a plane, or not be a car, or not be a service, and also how would it feel knowing that, oh, your gear's up, or like, would we transfer that same consciousness to like as an upgrade? Like, if we had a car, say I had like a Hyundai, and I had fucking cool ass AGI in it, and then the next time I got a car, I can just upload that same consciousness up to the new car. That way, it's like, oh, hey, Sean, you got a new car? That's fucking dope,
Like, hey, you got, or like if it has several, it'd be like, hey, you got a new car? Like, what are you gonna do with me then? Am I just gonna sit in your garage?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I would love to have an AGI that talks shit. Holy fuck.
Like, what are you, a little fucking pussy? What? No, I need to get a new car. Yeah, it's all eco-friendly. Fuck.
Yeah, fucking have fun with your Tesla, bitch.
Good luck charging it. No, but all right. All that aside, though, this is probably the most intense question I'm going to ask you in today's show, and maybe ever.
Okay, go.
Would you fuck Sophia? And be honest.
100%, no hesitation, dude. My
like while she's making her like happy face expression, where she's like,
no, have you ever seen that that YouTube video of that? It wasn't Sophia, but it was a robot that's singing I feel fantastic. Ay. Dude, it's fucking terrifying. But from the back, you won't know.
hitting it from the walls. That's the thing too, is if you haven't seen Sophia, the back of her head is like all that exposed circuitry shit going on.
Yeah.
So you'd see that from the back.
But I mean, like
circuitry.
But no. Ultimately, no. Obviously, I won't. Yeah. But if they made sex robots, fucking 100%.
Yeah. Like, obviously joking, but seriously speaking, it's insane how big of a deal it is to some people that sex robots become a thing. Because, like, when I was doing all this research on stuff, I somehow stumbled across sex robot stuff. And I was reading this article, and when I was reading it, it was just crazy because I came across this section that talked about this group of people, men who were legit mad that Sophia got her citizenship because it posed a threat to their pursuit of sex robots, because her getting citizenship would mean, like, in some small sort of sense, like, you know, it would start to humanize robots.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that kind of, you know, puts a damper on sexualizing robots as just, you know, a sex toy, a glorified sex toy. But I don't know. When I read that shit, I like literally fucking laughed out loud. Because, like, honestly speaking, I am all for sex robots, 100%.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry if you're a man and you're not for sex robots.
No, and that's the thing too, is not because I'm directly interested in using one, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't, because
I am.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but that's besides the point. But more so because I think that it could possibly lead to decreasing the amount of sexual crimes.
Oh yeah,
and prostitution for that matter.
Yeah,
but mostly worried about the sexual crimes part. And by sexual crimes, I mean stuff like rape and stuff. So to better explain what I mean exactly, is I think that if sex robots were easily and widely sold and distributed, some of those lonely, creepy, you know, perverted dudes who might be inclined to commit a crime like that might instead end up buying one of these things and sating his sexual angst that way.
Yeah, like setting preferences on how they react to you. And
yeah, because like I mean, you know, maybe if it's still fucked up, but maybe if he could program it to act like a woman in distress, it's still way fucking better than him actually doing that to a woman. So I mean, let's give him the fucking sex robot and keep some real women safe. You know, And okay, and I want to clarify too that I know not all sexual crimes originate solely from just sexual deprivement and, you know, sexual angst, but some do. And if there's even a chance at lowering the amount of sexual assault crimes, then it's 100% worth it. And I also want to clarify that I don't think that only creepy perverts want a sex robot, because, you know, like I just said, I would totally buy one, and so would Sean.
Yeah.
And we're men, we're all horny, disgusting bastards. And I think, you know, it's safe to say that most of us would want one. So don't get offended if you did when I mentioned creepy rapists buying sex robots. It was just an example scenario. But yeah, I mean, you pretty much said, you know, what you're thinking about this too. But do you think that what I was saying, you know, like, could it possibly pose a solution to like stuff like rape? Or do you think they should just be available anyway?
Well, you know, honestly, they should be available anyway. But I mean, you know, obviously they could set the precedent for how you said, like, getting away from actually harming real life people. And like, if you set them just to fucking have that like preference or whatever, like different preference modes, which still fucked up, still doesn't make that dude any less of a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's better for him to do that to a robot that only is programming. It's only ones and zeros. It doesn't have sentience or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like the robot's experiencing the real distress. It's just mimicking that. And while, like I said, you know, while we don't agree with that, it is a million times better than a real woman being injured or harmed because a guy wants to, you know, do that to a girl.
Sidebar. Same reason why I don't care. I don't fucking care what anybody says. Same thing with why prostitution should be legal.
Yeah, the only reason I would counterpoint that is just because of the environment that it puts the prostitutes in.
No, because...
But I mean, I think if we banked on it as a legal thing, I think it would become a safer thing.
Yeah.
And I just also think that it should be something that...
How is that a counterpoint? That's you agreeing with me?
Well, no, that's why I'm saying I am agreeing with you. The only counterpoint was just saying, like, if we made it legal, but it wasn't like an actual, you know, business associated with like established, you know, like health benefits, shit like that, like running like a real company, and it was just running like it is now.
Yeah. Okay,
then that's you know, because the environment for prostitutes now is totally horrible.
If it was like federally taxed and all that shit, it was treated as an
you can have an actual
business,
establishment,
have an actual establishment,
CEO, shit like that.
Yeah. You know, fucking like a McDonald's chain of fucking brothels, that'd be dope. But I mean, like having
drive through
handy J's. But like,
and pull around back, and then I'll pull you around back.
But no, like just with that, like you can have security in that place and stuff like that. But when it comes to sex robots in those regards, probably cheaper to have individual sex robots. Well, not cheaper, but I mean, like, you know, if you want to pay a pretty penny to have a personal fucking robot for you to, you know, sate yourself sexually whenever the fuck you want, or you can just go to a, you know, like a legal brothel, like having those two could fucking dramatically decrease, you know, sexual crimes. It would dramatically increase, you know, our tax revenue, our economy. It would give a probably good boost to the economy, and and by the way, it would also lower divorce rates. I fucking bet you, 100%. If brothels were open or sex robots, sorry, but I don't give a fuck. A married man's gonna go to a brothel, asshole married man's, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you have a sex robot, that's probably like the best way for a fucking piece of shit to cheat, quote unquote, on his wife.
Yeah, so I will point out that sex robots are a thing. Like, they're actually available, and I didn't know this.
I thought there was just real dolls.
I went on a website. It's called, like, fuck, I can't even remember.
I will order one right fucking now.
No, you won't, because they are expensive as shit.
Well,
they're like $4,000.
What do they do? Like, I mean, like...
They fuck you, I don't know.
I mean, like, do you go on Pornhub and look them up?
No, because I got curious when I was researching this stuff about sex robots. I was like, are they even actually available? Because I wanted to make sure, you know, I wasn't just talking out of my ass. And they are. And the website that I went on, like, yeah, it had like a list of them. They ship worldwide, all this stuff. So, I mean, God, I probably have a lot of people fucking tapping their keyboards right now. Oh, no. They're like, are you fucking serious? Yeah, like, I don't remember the website, but yeah, I was like, now I'm going to get flagged for a bunch of weird ads. Because cookies are the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're actually available. I didn't know that. But yeah, there was like ones for $3,500 and up.
We will link it in our Facebook.
Crystal?
Yeah, Crystal, if you could find that, that'd be great. Why the fuck didn't you save that in the notes?
I know, I should have, but it...
Our market would go fucking so high.
Hey, you guys want to give us a promo for that?
Yeah, dude.
A little sponsorship for sex robots?
Holy shit, yeah. They might be, honestly, real dolls might have like a secondary, like actual like robotic system where they like react and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so I don't know how they work exactly, because I didn't really want to spend a whole shit ton of time on a sex robot page, but...
It's for research.
It was research purposes.
Yeah, Crystal walked in like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, she saw me on there and she's like, you're going to have so many weird ads now. I was like, I was gonna before anyway.
I can't, dude. Sorry. By the way, still on the topic of AI, fuck you. Not Facebook. I love you technically, but I don't like when you guys fucking. I could say huge giant dildos, which I probably say way more in my personal life than I should. And guess what? I get fucking ads for that shit on my Facebook, like on Wish. I get fucking ads for
Wish is just weird.
Like I was telling a story at work about like it was a drug story. I think to like my boss or something like that. And
good story to tell your boss.
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck. But I was telling her like you know, I used to do meth and all that stuff, and you know, you're gonna if it's a drug story, you're gonna say meth addict, meth heads, blah blah blah, over and over again. Fucking Wish recommended a meth pipe, like, dead ass. I swear to God, it fucking recommended me meth pipes. It's recommended me fucking horse dildos. It's recommended me lingerie. It's recommended me a fucking a motorcycle helmet with a printing of another head on it. Like if you put on the helmet, it just looked like you have a giant head. So yeah, it's just fucking dumb shit like that. It's kind of invasive, and I know it's probably just a robot taking keywords to suggest it. It's no one actually really watching you. But then again, Edward Snowden, fucking, they are watching you. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And to this day, like, oh, yeah, whistleblower, they're not doing it anymore. Fucking, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. They're totally watching us.
Dude, but guess what? They can fucking, I'll come on my phone, dude. I don't give a shit. My FBI agent's gonna give a load of fucking...
I was like, dude, if you want to watch what I do in private...
have fun, bro.
Welcome to the show.
I don't even want to watch what the fuck I do in private.
If I knew somebody was watching me, I'd probably just play it up. my you know, one-handed, you know, flesh flute sessions would get way more intense.
Yeah, I get a little bit weird when I get tipsy. I'll stick a finger in my ass. I'll put my fucking asshole right on the camera, bro. I don't give a shit.
I start staring into the camera, looking into his eyes. He's like, fuck.
Stone face, just like, and you're
and
just
no
like
emotion, just. And you're done. You don't even flinch. You're just like. All right. Well, what the fuck? Okay. Okay. I didn't get to ask you this before, but what do you think about technology moving forward? So, like, what do you think is the next step for us in terms of like big advancements or developments? And then also, like, what do you hope to see in your lifetime? And what do you think you will actually see in your lifetime? So, what do you hope to see? But what do you think is realistic?
I hope to see interplanetary colonization, commercial space travel, and probably more integrated like smart home. So
Like
I feel
more so than now.
Yeah, more so than now. Like I feel like I mean it'd probably still cost a shit ton, and you know obviously this probably wouldn't be available to everyone because of you know the society we live in, very capitalistic. But if you were to just walk in your home and it would acknowledge that you're home already, it would turn on all the lights, fucking just read your facial features, have like little cameras or some shit in your house. Because honestly, if people are gonna watch me, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Have fun. But yeah, if it recognized your facial features, it would be like, you know, it would actually interact with you, tell you like, oh, did you have a good day at work? Or, you know, like, it would just be that personal assistant that's always there, always on your phone, always in your ear, always somewhere.
You know, like, I mean, it would be invasive, but it'd be kind of cool to just walk in the door and you know, it's like, oh, I see you had a bad day today. Would you like me to run you a bath? And you'd be like, yeah. And
Exactly.
it's like, I also poured you a glass of your favorite wine. And you're like, okay, cool. Then you just go pick up a glass of wine and the bath's already done for you.
Exactly. I'm very much a believer of when you're not working, any self-improvement should be on you. So if you want to work out, you should go work out. If you want to play a game, you should play a game. If you want to do this, you should do it. But also, I do believe in the comfort thing of like not having to worry about certain things. If you could already have a meal prepped for you when you get home that feeds you and your family, like that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it would take so much stress off of so many families. And you know, it might cost, you know, the butler market a fuck ton, but it's one of those things that like it's nice to be able to not get off the couch and I could just be like, hey Alexa, turn on the living room light or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just happens. I don't have to fucking stand up for shit because when you're at home, that's your comfort zone.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I work hard enough during the week. Why do I have to work when I'm at home? I mean, I know, getting up off the couch isn't work, but when you work hard, you just want to come home. You just want to lay down. Like, that's what I want to do most of the time when I get off work. I just want to lay down. It'd be nice to just be like, so-and-so, turn on the TV. They turn on the TV. So-and-so, put on The Office. They put on The Office.
Yeah.
So-and-so, turn off the lights. Turns off the lights. Like, I would fucking kill for that. And, like, especially if there's Robot Butler wandering around my house, be like, bro, go make me some fucking potatoes.
Fudge.
And yeah, he just goes, whips up some fucking magical dinner, and he's like, here you are, sir. And then he just fucking... fucking gives me my shit. That'd be fucking amazing. I'd kill for that.
Yeah. Anyway, realistically, I do think we are moving towards better, like, smart home. And also better, like, automated travel, like automated cars and stuff like that. But that would mean everybody would have to have one, and that's not going to fucking happen anytime soon.
Well, and actually, isn't that, like, a real thing? Didn't Uber have, like, its own car that drove itself or whatever?
Yeah, but it's not going to happen, like...
It killed a guy, I think.
What?
I think it killed a guy. If I'm not mistaken, it killed somebody.
All right. Well, either way, it's... What was it? There was a specific... Like, it's on its way, but, like, for this to actually fully happen... It would pretty much have to be every single car would have to be automated and integrated with each other.
Yeah.
Like, for it to happen fluently without incident.
You're talking about automated cars, like being able to drive side by side,
like
and making
iRobot
left-hand
kinda shit.
turns. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
like,
every car would have to be able to communicate with each other, because how else would they not collide or
Yeah, because I don't give a fuck. Like I was saying before, human interaction, that morality can save people, but also if you mix the AI and human error as together, that just makes it even worse. Because there are way more fucking car crashes than there are plane crashes. That's why I wanted to use a plane for a better example.
Yeah.
But with cars, it would literally have to be every single one of them, because if you did that and it worked, it actually worked, there wouldn't be any more fucking car crashes. Car travel would be just as safe, if not safer, than air travel.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can probably do the same thing with planes too if you integrated them. And I know that's very difficult and scientifically fucking complex, but realistically, do I think that's going to happen? No, because that would mean every single person that has a car would have to have that, and fucking God knows they would charge a shit ton of money for that.
Yeah.
And unless it was a free upgrade for everyone, which, capitalism doesn't like free shit. No, that's not going to happen. Commercial space travel and colonization, though?
Well, it's kind of happening with Elon Musk.
Yeah, SpaceX.
I was like his venture into trying to get us onto Mars and all that stuff.
Yeah, like...
which he was saying, like, dated by, like, 2030, or maybe it was 2050
It was like 2025 or some shit.
Yeah, I thought it was closer, so maybe
they're doing good fucking work, dude. If you guys didn't watch the last space launch, you should go watch it.
Yeah, but I think he said their plans for, like, colonizing Mars was, like, way off, obviously.
Well, yeah, because they haven't decided whether they're going to terraform, go subterranean, a bunch of different shit. But
I mean, like, why? I mean, well, I don't know. I was going to say, why would he even want to start that when he's probably not going to be around to see it happen? But somebody's got to start it.
Yeah.
So never mind. That's a stupid thing to say.
But yeah, just having, like, it's not as if corporations couldn't get in on that. Like, what was it? Did you watch Ad Astra with Brad Pitt? Basically, it is how Elon Musk would describe, where you would go to the moon, and the moon's a way station to go to Mars, essentially. And there's, like, a colony on Mars, a colony on the moon. But it's so convoluted with, like, more, like, basically, like, banners and, like, what's the word? Like, billboards and shit. Like, it's capitalized. So there are, like, basically you go to the moon and it's a fucking mall.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And like,
that's how I picture things being if it, were realistic.
Yeah, and if it were to work, that's probably how it would be. Because a single government can't fucking do this on its own.
No. It's going to take the world to get together to, like, colonize the solar system.
Yeah. So, like, if you want to, like, either the world or just a shit ton of corporations, and,
Or yeah, just worldwide corporations, I guess.
Yeah, new corporations would spawn from that as well, because as soon as you get on a new celestial body, there's new resources to be taken from that celestial
new
body.
businesses are going to be born from that. So.
Yeah. So that's essentially how I think it would work. Do I think it's going to happen in my lifetime? No.
I think we might live to see the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Like, like we were talking about, we already are a little bit.
Yeah. But we're seeing the blueprint of it.
Yeah. So I think by the time, we end up being in our late stages of life, we might end up seeing like a little bit of it come to fruition.
Yeah. Like we were saying before, 2050 is going to be being low on resources, food, shit like that.
So I think that's probably
when we're going to push for it.
The big push for that.
Because
kind of
God knows, not just America, but the world likes to fucking push things off to the last fucking minute.
Well, I mean, shit. What people don't you know that fucking operate that way? Like every single person I know operates that way.
Yeah.
They like to wait till the last minute to get things done. I'm one of them. So, but okay. Let me see where we're at here. Yeah, I think that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's going to go ahead and bring us to our newest segment. Sean, would you like to introduce our new segment?
Goddamn right I would. Our new segment is Tipplers Take Two.
Come on. So what's holding everything up here?
Art department.
So the grips are holding us back?
All right, try that take one more time.
1 second.
Hey, quiet on the set!
Tipplers Take Two. Mark.
Action!
Tipplers Take Two should be a familiar concept with most of you who have listened since episode 1. Though it is a new segment, the idea isn't. Tipplers Take Two is our closing segment in which we'll discuss movies, games, books, and other forms of media related to the current episode topics. So let's get into it. Fucking Terminator, the fucking preface, or premise, whatever, I can't English, for this whole episode probably. Fucking Skynet, T-800, TX, fucking go.
It's like there's no way that when you heard today's topics, you didn't immediately think Terminator.
Yeah, there's no
if
fucking way.
If you thought of something else,
fuck you, bro.
You're dumb. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're not dumb, but for most people, it's going to be Terminator. And I should specifically say that I care about Terminator 2 more than any of the others. Terminator 1's great.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it in a long ass time.
Same thing with like Alien.
But Terminator 2 is the best one. Yeah, and it's the same thing with Alien. Alien 1 is fantastic. Like, dude, I just watched it like a couple of years back and
never seen Alien 1.
It's so good. You have to watch it.
Okay.
It's so good. It's still so good. But yeah, Aliens 2 is obviously the more action-oriented one. It's awesome. Terminator 2 is amazing. That's still one of the best damn action movies ever.
On the off chance that any Zoomers are listening, Terminator was a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger that probably fucking catapulted him into fame, with phrases such as "Hasta la vista, baby," and
like my intro was too. It was a play on his most famous line, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah.
So I, said, "Come with me."
There's
if you
like
want to
3
live.
or 4 fucking things from Terminator.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But essentially, Terminator is based around the fact that what if the military created an AI that were to, I think, kind of be a commander-in-chief almost, or be like an AI to benefit the military?
Yeah, I think it was made for the military or something. They ended up, it became sentient and took
as
over.
Basically, like instantly, the second they launched it, it kind of just took stock of the human race and was like, nope.
Launched all of our missiles and killed us all, basically.
Or tried to kill us all.
Or like that's the premise of it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Terminator's still around today, so you should know, because I haven't watched the new one, or like the last 2.
I'm not going to.
Because
the first 2 is
the last Terminator, fucking everything after the second one basically is garbage. The
like
Christian
the
Bale one is a little bit passable, because they tried to do something new, and I kind of like the like dark grittiness to it.
Yeah, I love that one, actually.
They just failed on some aspects of it, but honestly, that one gets a bad rap, and I think that one's good.
I think the third one was fine.
And I was going to say the third one, maybe not having the best cast and stuff like that, was still pretty good. Like, some of the action is okay and everything like that. Like, yeah, of course, there's a couple of corny jokes and shit like that they should have just not done, but hey, I make corny jokes too.
Yeah. Another one that actually I haven't seen, but I really need to see, is Upgrade.
You haven't seen Upgrade?
I haven't seen Upgrade. I watched the preview because you sent me the preview like a couple years ago, and I just never ended up seeing it.
I might have to. We might have to watch that before I leave.
Yeah.
That is a must watch. If you haven't seen Upgrade, fucking watch that movie. It is not only is it bad fucking ass for an action movie, it's bad fucking ass for like a sci-fi. Like it makes you think a little bit about stuff. Like there's no way we can talk about this without me ruining it.
Well,
Basically,
the premise of it is he gets a chip in him or something. He doesn't. He have like
okay. So I'll put the little plot points in there.
Okay.
So the premise of it is he's like an old school guy who likes to work on like old school cars and stuff like that. He doesn't really like technology.
Okay.
Well, this one night while him and his wife are in this car that can drive itself, it ends up not listening to them, and they like end up crashing. These guys are there. He doesn't know who they are. They murder his wife and they shoot him.
Okay.
And he wakes up. He's disabled. His wife's dead. He gets this offer from like a rich inventor guy that he knows and then he works for that, hey, like I can put this chip into your spine and it'll like do all these crazy things for you. It can make you walk again and all that stuff.
What's its name? Isn't it like Cortex or some weird shit?
Ah, shit. What the hell is its name? It's got like another like kind of human-like name. I can't remember what it is. Like STEM or something.
STEM. Yeah, it was STEM.
Yeah. Not really human, but they gave it a name.
I'm just taking from. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I did
yeah.
see
So he gets it injected to him, and he ends up finding out he can like walk again. He's also like capable of letting STEM take over his body and make him fight and shit. And that is the absolute coolest part of the movie, is because when he first finds out that he can let STEM take over his body, he's entering the house of one of the guys that he thinks is involved with killing his wife, and he ends up fighting the guy, and he lets STEM take over, and STEM fights with his body, but like a computer, so it makes all these cool, like, cold calculated movements where it's like every single move is precise, it knows exactly what it's doing. So, like, I don't know, there's a lot of moments in there where it abuses that kind of, that shtick, but it's cool as fuck. And then also it kind of takes you into the thing of like, STEM being sentient and him and the person like kind of coexisting and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a really cool like sci-fi action movie with a little bit of like horror elements and a little bit of like, I don't know, just it's hard to explain as a movie. You just have to watch it. It's fucking... I've seen it probably about 4 or 5 times since I saw it the first time, because it's just, I don't know, I can watch that movie over and over again. The action scenes are fantastic. I like the actor that's in it. He's really good. And then, yeah, like just all the elements of that movie are fucking phenomenal.
So, Chris, I've seen things that you wouldn't believe. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yeah, that's like one of the best fucking sci-fi movies, especially when like in terms of robots. I think that movie's actually better than the Terminator series.
Oh yeah, I fucking love. I haven't seen the first Blade Runner in a long time, but like the fact that I remember that,
yeah,
is like it is
Rutger
one of the most
Hauer,
like powerful,
Rutger.
impactful fucking scenes
What
ever.
the hell's his name? Is it Rutger Howard or
Rutger.
Rutger something?
Yeah.
I feel bad for mispronouncing his name, but he just passed away. Yeah, fantastic movie, dude. If you guys haven't seen that one, you have to watch that. Even if you just want to watch the newest one, Blade Runner 2049, that one is fantastic as well.
Yeah, it still holds up. Actually, you can watch that. No, you kind of have to see the first one.
But yeah, I was like, you do kind of have to see the first one to be able to watch the 2049 one. But I mean, if you don't, well, whatever. You'll kind of pick up a lot of the stuff through context and shit like that. But Blade Runner is so damn good, not only just for like the setting and like the music and stuff like that, but just like the premise of what it sets up for, to like, basically it poses the question of like, what does it mean to be alive, and like what's the purpose of being alive. And that's like it basically, like, by the end of the movie, it kind of poses that question in like a really beautifully chaotic kind of way.
Yeah.
And
it kind of like reminds me of the Meaning of Life episode as well, where we're talking about stoicism, because that's kind of where Rutger Hauer, or whatever the fuck his name is,
yeah.
sorry, kind kind of goes with it is like how he's saying, I've seen things that you people wouldn't believe, and all that shit. He's kind of going along the point of like, I've admired the beauty of this world, like and cherished every single second of it. Kind of where he's going with it, and you're taking this away from me by killing me, and kind of really what it is. Like that's what Stoicism is all about: is living in the moment and appreciating things for what it is, because that's kind of what they were going for, is that they were just wanting to be fucking left alone.
Yeah, and without giving too much away, Blade Runner is just basically about, like, if you haven't seen it, it's about Harrison Ford. His character is somebody who's called a Blade Runner. Basically, his job is to hunt down robots that have like gone wacko, and basically there's like these 3 or 4, is it 4? 4 robots who have gone crazy, did this mutiny on like another planet, and now they've come to Earth and they're on the lam, basically, so he's hunting them down. And the whole thing behind the robots, though, is that they have this like lifespan of, what is it, 6 years? I think it's like 6 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
So, and they're all on the like 6th year, so they're like about to die anyway. And like, that's kind of like one of the last parts of the movie, like without giving too much away.
And that fucking terrifying, that chick who fucking does like the acrobatics, like fucking like, what the fuck?
She's fucking crazy too.
Did you ever hear the theory that Alien is directly related to Blade Runner? Yeah, apparently. Like, look.
Well, I mean, it's both Ridley Scott. So.
Well, yeah, they're like someone. Not someone, I don't fucking know. It's such an old theory, but basically that it's the same universe, and those androids are just named differently or something like that.
Oh, because they're supposed to be something like the androids from Alien, or
yeah,
what?
because the androids in Alien eventually become to the point where they're fucking just people.
Yeah.
But
well, like in the first one, Ash, the android in the first one, is a bad guy. So, but in the second one, Bishop's good.
Yeah, Bishop's fucking awesome. I love Bishop.
I know.
Yeah, I think that's where you got a lot of your. I'm not gonna lie, like that's where you got a lot of your creative. I don't want to give too much away because it's more personal, but where you got a lot of your personal stuff for like ArcLight and Ipsit and stuff like that. Just that emotional side of robots and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson.
Another great movie.
I still haven't seen that one.
Oh, come on, dude.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've seen most of these, but the premise is, I'm pretty sure it's just Joaquin Phoenix that has he gets an AI that kind of like emotionally supports him.
Yeah. So what it is like it takes place in the future, obviously an undefined future, and Joaquin Phoenix plays like this kind of lonely guy who just went through a breakup and stuff with his wife. Well, I guess it's a divorce. And there's this new operating software that's basically like a living AI that can develop its own personality and all this stuff. And the premise of it is he ends up getting that operating software and he ends up falling in love with it and like forming an actual, existing relationship with it. And it really just kind of like goes into, I mean, before the end of the movie gets a little iffy, but the majority of the movie is, exploring the relationship between him and the robot, and or him and the AI, because literally throughout the whole movie, she's just a voice, basically. So you never like see a physical form of her or anything. Yeah. But it's just kind of exploring like what it means to have like an actual connection with people and stuff like that. So it is a good movie for that aspect. Like I said, towards the end, it kind of gets a little weird. I still like the ending, but it just gets a little different.
Yeah. Obviously, I fucking hate to bring this up because I know how you're gonna get The Matrix. I love The Matrix too. But calm down.
My boy Keanu.
So, if you don't know already, which you fucking should know if you listen to the show, The Matrix stars Keanu Reeves and other people. It doesn't really matter because Keanu Reeves.
Fuck everybody else. Keanu Reeves.
No, actually, it stars like two of my favorite actors. I just don't remember.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie Moss.
Thank you.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving. Thank you. I fucking love Hugo Weaving.
Carrie Ann Moss, sorry.
But yeah, with The Matrix, the premise is robots have been sentient. They already fucking destroyed the world. and the remaining remnants of mankind stay in a city called Zion, which is actually a reference to like old, like Jewish, like the Church of Zion or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know what you're trying to say.
It's essentially just like an oasis. Like,
yeah, the Matrix actually has like a lot of like biblical and like religious context to a lot of the stuff that's named after it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's not to the third one where they actually acknowledge. Well, actually, no, that's not true. But I mean, like, there's essentially two kind of sentient robots because there's the Matrix, which is the program in which these humans reside. And by the way, the program is so the robots can keep these humans docile because they use humans as basically power source.
Yeah.
And so the robots that keep them docile are sentient, and their goal is kind of undefined. It doesn't ever really say what their purpose is or what they're driving towards.
Not really. I think just existing. I don't know.
Yeah, because at the third one, it does come to a conclusion where they'll live peacefully. They'll coexist with each other. So obviously, they don't really need humans, but I mean, they need humans, but they don't really care if they exist outside of the Matrix. And the Matrix has these programs, which the programs are also sentient. Agent Smith is a sentient program who's basically a firewall or like a virus, antivirus. I mean, that its whole purpose is to
shut down any anomalies within the system, which is be like people being self-aware that they're in the Matrix.
Yeah, aware that they're in the Matrix, exactly. But yeah, Agent Smith eventually gets to the point where he doesn't even fucking want to be in the Matrix. But also in the second one, he gets out of the Matrix he basically takes over someone else's body. It's complicated to explain.
The third one that he does that.
It's the third one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad. The third one, he does that. And he kind of discovers like, oh, this world's a fucking sack of shit. So he decides that the Matrix is just going to be all his. And he kind of succeeds at that.
Yeah, he like starts taking over all the programs.
Yeah, to the point where Agent Smith is actually a problem for the outside robots that made the Matrix. And it's actually kind of that cool thing where like it almost kind of like makes me think of like racism in general, because like even these two different sets of sentient robots or programs are basically like you're a fucking problem, like both of you. And then the humans on the outside are kind of like the third party where they're kind of just there.
Fighting the battle no matter where it's coming from.
Yeah, and they're just trying their best to keep existing, keep surviving. To the point where in the third one, the robots, these little squid boys, they basically make a deal with Keanu Reeves' character, Neo, to destroy Agent Smith and reset the Matrix. And it goes a lot deeper than that, and like a whole prophecy, and like Chris said, it goes very biblical. But yeah, it's an amazing fucking trilogy. Even more amazing manga. I'm pretty sure it's based off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So read the manga, watch the movies, and I'm fucking so excited for them to make a fourth one because I know that's happening.
Yeah, I'm hoping COVID doesn't affect that too much.
Very quickly, because we are kind of short on time. I do want to do a lot of honorable mentions, so let's try our best to condense and get through these. But there's no fucking way I'm not mentioning all these. Minority Report. That's the one with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, which I talked about a little bit earlier.
I don't remember jack shit from that fucking movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Really good movie.
Wait. The premise of it, like, isn't he? They can see like into the future for crimes that are going to happen.
Yeah, they can predict people's crimes. So like they use it to like stop murders from happening and stuff, because like they have this computer system that's like linked up to these three sidekicks that when they operate like a hive mind can predict the future.
So this isn't really based off of the AI aspect of it. It's more of
just technology in general.
Yeah, a really high advancement of technology, because if we had that today, fuck, that would be great.
Yeah.
Another one is actually probably one of my personal favorites and most impactful films of my childhood is WALL-E.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I'm sorry, but if you don't like WALL-E, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We still watch WALL-E. WALL-E's awesome.
Directive.
And it has a lot of good like points.
Yeah.
As far as like how we humans are getting used to technology babying us and shit like that, and then just how we're treating the Earth in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's so many fucking good like points and like underlying issues that they point out, and I love when they take these risks to point out these issues and put it on a platform that kids can see. Like, I don't necessarily like Zoomers' attitudes, but goddamn, like they're fucking. You gotta admit their morality is.
At least we're today's generation. I shouldn't say we, but today's generation is starting to change some really serious problems.
Yeah,
with
and
today's
like
world.
even with like physical health, like I'm not 100% cool with vegans because a good chunk of them are fucking obnoxious assholes, and they just make that their whole lifestyle.
They just use that as a pedestal to stand on and preach.
Where most
dumb
people
shit.
do it for health risks and to reduce those risks and to make sure that they're in good condition, and they don't even fucking bring it up half the time.
Yeah.
A friend at work, I barely just figured out she was vegan because she never talks about it. And I respect her.
That's how you
even
should
more.
be. Like, why is it anybody's business that you're vegan?
Yeah.
No one cares.
Same shit for fucking sexual orientation and, fucking even color of your skin. It's irrelevant.
We don't give a fuck what your personal life is.
Like, who fucking cares? But Wall-E is great, and like it just still rings in my head. Fucking Eva.
Yeah.
Directive.
Classified.
Yeah. Please watch Wall-E. I'm serious. It's fucking such an important movie.
It's awesome. Kids and parents will like it, so it's a good movie. Unless you're one of those like far right people, then you'll probably hate it.
Yeah. But if you're far right, then fuck you. Another one, fucking personal favorite is The World's End.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This even points out what we were talking about today, like how quickly the boom in technology happened.
And I'm glad you remembered that, because that's exactly why I wanted to include this, was because they talk about that at the end. Like, how do you think so quickly, humans advanced and whatever in technology? And it was because
aliens interfered.
Yeah, aliens gave us that technology. And it was like, that's actually kind of a little conspiracy theory about the technology jump from the 90s to the 2000s. Is some people think that we discovered some aliens that gave us technology and shit like that, which, who knows? But I mean, more than likely, it's just we had technology that from the 90s started coming out, and then it just helped us catapult ourselves. So that's honestly what I think happened. I don't think it really had anything to do with aliens.
But yeah, it's a fucking funny movie. It's a perfect finale for the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost trilogy.
Yeah.
Same director trilogy. Huh?
I said the Cornello trilogy.
Yeah, Cornello, that's what it was. Sorry, I just remembered the fucking scene with Nick Frost and the Cornello flies by. He's all he like reaches up against the fence to grab it. But yeah, it's fucking amazing film trilogy, and it's a perfect finale for that trilogy. And I'll always remember them. Like how you were saying earlier with Upgrade, I could watch that movie nonstop on a fucking loop.
Yeah, me too.
I love that movie. Another one is actually more into shows, which is Love, Death, and Robots.
Well, hold on, because I did want to mention Ex Machina.
Oh yeah, Ex Machina. I'm sorry.
I didn't necessarily care for that movie. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't necessarily think it was that great. Like, everybody seems to think this movie is like amazing.
No, I loved it.
I didn't really think it was that great. I love Domhnall Gleeson, and I love the other guy. What's his name? You don't know? He plays Poe in like in the new Star Wars and stuff. I forget his name right now. I usually know it, but he's in it. He's fantastic. So is what's her name? Alexandra Vikander, whatever. I don't know.
We need to do better notes, man.
But they're all great actors. The premise was great. It really has a shit ton to do with like what we were talking about in this show, like just AI and kind of sex robot subject a little bit. Well, yeah,
because they kind of go into the fact that's where the issue lies with that movie that I really appreciated, is because the dude successfully makes an AI, and a very successful AI, or AGI to use the correct terminology, but he still objectifies the robots. And basically, I don't want to ruin the movie, but I'm going to have to, because it's very crucial to the point I'm going to make.
So stop listening if you haven't seen it and you want to see it.
Yeah, or skip ahead. Basically, the creator of these robots, he already made quite a few of them, and he kind of had like how we were saying earlier, kind of a rapey vibe, a murderous vibe, and he mistreated these robots very heavily. And the current robot, where he has the creator of it has a visitor on the island, which is the main character, and she basically manipulates that main character into letting her free, but only because she knows that like love and stuff is a very heavy manipulator. So she learns that, and she also learns that the creator of her and her predecessors was abusing her predecessors and stuff like that, and she just didn't want to suffer the same fate. And it really just comes down to like the morality and like how she learned about that, because she figured out that history, but she attributed that history to all humans, because she got to the point where she kind of just didn't trust the main character either, and she ended up killing him as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a dark ending, but it does point out like kind of like don't judge a book by its cover. She seems really innocent and all that stuff, but same thing, vice versa. She's kind of leaping all humans into the same kind of morality grouping, where she thinks just all of them are fucking trash, but she also learned how to manipulate them because of mistreatment of her predecessors. So it honestly, for me, I fucking love that movie. It is slow going, but I'm one of those people that I really enjoy slow going movies.
I'll have to give it another try, but I just remember when I first watched it, I was bored and I didn't really care for it by the end of it. So I don't know. I'll give it another watch. Maybe I'm just missing something.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, sorry. Let's go into shows. Black Mirror. Fucking love Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is amazing.
Unfortunately, I haven't watched a lot of them. Like a lot.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this the last time I was over here. That White Christmas episode is like my favorite one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. You and our sister Faith probably references that as like the best episode of the show.
Yeah, for me, that's my favorite episode. I honestly feel like that episode alone can just like stand alone as a movie.
Yeah,
it's got John Hamm, who's a fucking amazing actor. Love John Hamm. And then that other British actor that, like I said, I recognize him from things, but I don't know his name, so I feel bad for not knowing his name. But he's from like The Ritual and
he was also in Hot Fuzz, right?
And Hot Fuzz, yeah. So I don't know his name, but
yeah, he's a great actor.
He's cool.
Look up The Ritual on Netflix, and he's the main
totally
character.
Different from what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, sorry, that's more horror.
Movie.
But look up The Ritual, watch that. It's a horror film, but he's the main character. He's great in that. I'm sorry for not remembering your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, check out Black Mirror. It's very technological and goes into like a very consistent future. I watched one where they were able to like scan memories or whatever the fuck. It's like she was trying to solve a murder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I've seen all of Black Mirror. They're all really good.
Yeah, that was the one that like stuck with me, but I can't wait to see.
There's not a lot of bad episodes. Like there's a couple of ones that you're probably not going to enjoy, but most of them are pretty enjoyable, and they all have to do with technology and just kind of like questions our morals and stuff like that when it comes to like using technology and stuff. So it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. Another one is Westworld, and I cannot go without fucking mentioning this one. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the show nor read the book, but the idea of it is, or the premise of it is, there is a theme park called Westworld, and it's essentially these robots that are acting like cowboys, whores at a brothel, bartenders, all that shit. And you get to pay a ticket to go to this place, and it's hyper realistic to the point where you can fuck the whores in the brothel. You can get in bar fights. You can kill people. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can live out your Wild West fantasy. And essentially, it brings into question the same thing that most of these stories bring into question: is what does it mean to be an AI? Because these things, these robots are so close to being human. And I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if the show has ended or not, but I'm pretty sure it got to the point where they start becoming sentient and stuff like that. I know that happens in the book where they become sentient.
Yeah. Well, I've only ever watched the movie. I haven't seen the show yet. I want to. I haven't seen the show.
That movie was horrible.
I love the movie, dude.
I didn't like it.
I fucking love that movie.
I don't, like you said, I might need to give it another chance, but.
Well, and it's an old movie too. It's like from the 70s, I think. So it's a little dated, but for me, I grew up watching stuff like that, so I got used to like the old special effects and the old style of movies, and for me, it's still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do plan on watching the show. But yeah, it goes into a lot of the stuff about like AI becoming sentient and like what it means to be, an AI that's sentient and shit like that, and just kind of what it means to, in general, to feel and think and all that stuff.
Yeah. Another one is Love, Death, and Robots. Is very similar to Black Mirror. It's an anthology, but it doesn't seem to follow the same formula that Black Mirror does, because Black Mirror seems to have the same theme every episode, where it's mostly technology or like versions of that technology in the same present. But Love, Death, and Robots is very fucking amazing. The first episode alone.
Yeah, the first episode is pretty dope.
Dude, it's fucking amazing. That one brings more into like transferring consciousness and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get to touch on that. We probably will bring it up later in another episode.
Yeah, I was like, I did intend on talking about that, but there's so much to cover in this episode, like way more than I actually thought there would be. So this might be one of those episodes that we are going to touch on again in probably the next season.
Yeah. Another a game I want to mention really quick is System Shock. Yeah. It is BioShock's predecessor.
Play it so bad.
I can't fucking wait. I'm pretty sure the AI is called Medusa.
I don't remember.
But yeah, it's essentially the same kind of shit where like an AI takes over a system or whatever the fuck, and it's just so fucking cool. And they're making a new version of it, and I love BioShock so much, and that's the foundation of BioShock.
Yeah, that's
there would be no
child of BioShock.
Yeah, there wouldn't be no BioShock without System Shock. Fuck, I know I'm missing out on games too.
Yeah, I'm probably missing out.
Mass Effect. Yeah, Mass Effect is a perfect fucking example. They make in Mass Effect AIs. I know you didn't play a lot of Mass Effect.
Yeah, but with like the synthetics and all that shit.
Yeah, there are the ship in Mass Effect. Just the first one. The ship has an AI. I think there's a difference between AI and SI. I believe is the terminology. So there's artificial intelligence and sentient intelligence. So essentially, there's a quest in Mass Effect, or a mission that they would put in Mass Effect, where you already know about AI because your ship has one. It's very interactive with you. It's as if you're speaking to another human. However, with SI, it gets to the point where they are sentient. They are very destructive and mostly against humans, or humanoids rather. And there's also plenty of fucking examples like the Reapers and stuff. Those are mostly examples of sentient robots. If you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't played the game, fucking play it. It's a little slow going at first, but it gets into it and it's fucking amazing. It definitively goes into what we were talking about today about like the end of the world by artificial intelligence. And also
yeah, but this is more wide scale too, isn't it? Like the end of the universe.
Yeah, it's like the end of all life.
Yeah,
because it's basically like a cyclical thing. They do it like once every 1,000 or like billions of years or some shit. Like that. So yeah, please play Mass Effect. That game, fucking 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, I hate that I haven't played the second or third one. I think I was just so disappointed to hear about like how the third one ends.
I have the second one. I've just never played it.
I think I have. I have Mass Effects. I have all three of them, bro. I forgot I bought them. Why haven't I fucking played them yet? Okay, I'm gonna work on that, and I will give you updates if you guys give a shit. Even if you don't give a shit, I'll probably still give you updates.
We're still gonna tell you anyway, so fuck you.
But anyway, Chris, do you have any other ones that you might think of?
Yeah, I know we talked about it already, but Soma,
yeah, thank you. It's another.
We had talked about it already, but it does have to do with technology and like consciousness transferring. Fuck, I can't speak.
Yeah, it goes into the theory that like what it means to be human. It doesn't really go heavy on the AI necessarily, but essentially in the game, when you transfer consciousness, you leave your old consciousness behind. It just makes a copy of it. So in the game, you do it like 2 or 3 times where you transfer bodies, and you find out that the last body you left still has an ongoing conscience of your previous self in there. And it really just comes down to like, okay, well, does that make the last version of myself any more valid than the current version? And like, it really just goes into like, oh, well, that person's not me, so why should I care?
Yeah.
and it fucking 10 out of 10, dude. I love that game so fucking much.
I didn't get to finish.
You need to finish it.
I know. I need to. I was so close to the
end of it, dude. Like I legit. When's the last time you think I cried for a game?
I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I cried.
The Last of Us is the last time I cried.
Okay.
Until Soma. I cried when I finished Soma.
I cried when The Last of Us 2 came out because they
they fucking ruined it. Jesus Christ. I'm
I was like, separate subject.
But yeah, play Soma. That game is so like impactful on how you think about your own state of consciousness and like what would it mean to continue humanity? Like, could you just make copies of everyone's minds and leave our physical bodies behind? Because it does get into that. Like, they're like, oh, your consciousness is copied. You're good. You can kill yourself. That's basically what they fucking tell these people to do.
I know. It was getting pretty heavy when I was starting to play it.
It's
so
fucking heavy, dude. And like they're just like, oh no, you're good. You're fine.
Because there was that like part of the game where it was talking about that one guy that was basically telling everybody like, yeah, you can kill yourself. You're uploaded to that like cloud system.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be
it was like the
Ark,
misinformation.
basically.
He was tricking them and not necessarily telling them like once you kill yourself, you're killing yourself.
Yeah, you're dead, but there is a consciousness of you still alive.
Yeah. Just please play the fucking game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that was art. Like I said, I haven't finished it, but damn, I was enthralled.
It's fucking amazing. All right, guys, that takes us out of Tipplers Take 2. Thank you so much for listening to this new segment. I know it's a little bit long running, and so is this episode. But please check out our recommendations, and we hope you enjoyed our discussion on these movies and shows.
And cut.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Smartphones, tablets, talking AIs, and sex robots.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot here today on this technologically advanced episode of Tipplers 2 Cents. Thank you for joining in the fun. We appreciate you sharing your time with us so we could just chew your ear for a bit. Maybe just nibble on it so sweetly while you sleep.
Fuck you.
You're so precious. Yeah, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a review if possible and share us with your friends and family so we can continue to grow.
And if you want to more directly support the show, we have those shirts we keep talking about every fucking episode. God, isn't that annoying, Chris?
Yeah, I wish you guys would just buy one already.
I know, dude. We wouldn't bring it up if you fucking bought the merch that you can buy at represent.com/store/Tipplers2Cents.
God.
If you want to suggest a topic, correct us on something, bitch at us, or just say hi, or send us nudes. I'm not going to stop saying that. I want nudes. I want fucking BBCs in my DMs, all right? You can reach out to us at facebook.com/Tipplers2Cents and message us on there or email us at tipplers2centspodcast@gmail.com. Next week, we're talking about all the dumb fucking idiot people in the world, as well as the defunding of our education system and fucking inflation of tuition, all that good shit. So make sure you're subscribed and or following us on whatever platform you're listening on so you can join us on that.
Again, thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the resistance against the new robot overlords in the fight to reclaim our dominance as the superior beings. Or maybe we'll just catch you on the next episode of Tipplers 2 Cents. Cowabunga!
Bye!